Welcome back. So now we're going to look at 1.16. Hope you had a lot of fun with Don't Tell Aunt Rhody. Hope you got it down really well. But now we're off to A Clair de Lune, a French folk song, another folk song. And this one's pretty popular. You may have heard it in some movies. You may have heard it in some not lullabies, but other people singing it, or in a piano piece if you're a piano student, ever take private lessons. But A Clair de Lune has a couple of things that we're going to add to this. We're going to be doing what's called a skip or a jump, okay? So the very first couple measures, you're doing exactly what we did before. We had the melody kind of staying the same, going up and down, but you'll notice something really particular on measure 3. On measure 3, and I want to talk about this first before we review everything else, we're going to jump from an open D to the F sharp. So what happened? Well, we skipped a note. We went from just the open D, we skipped E and went straight to F sharp. And that's what I call a skip, all right? So when we skip like that, you have to use multiple fingers. Now, if you're not a bassist, you're not used to this yet. Bassists have already been doing this from the open string G going down to 4 fingers F sharp. So they've already had to just drop down all 4 fingers, or more than one for sure. And violins, violas haven't had that much to work with at that, and cello's kind of working with it already from E to F sharp. Now, what I mean by skipping as well, why I bring this up is because you're skipping finger order, or not order necessarily, but just what finger comes next right away. And so we're going to be going from an open string and having to place more than one finger down is going to be kind of a challenge, because you have to be completely accurate, just like you have been for this whole time, on where your finger's placed, and just kind of practicing on that. So before you go on to review and everything else, try to just practice how to play D and F sharp, D and F sharp, just those 2 pitches without playing the E in between, or playing G for that matter. Now, if you had a few chances to practice that, go ahead and review the entire exercise or entire piece. What is a time signature? What pitches are you playing throughout the whole piece? What is the rhythm? How many measures there are? And is there a repeat sign or just a final bar line? Once you have those figured out, go ahead and try to play along with me. All right, bassists, let's give it a go. All right, we're gonna be playing 1.16 by fingering it first to make sure that we can identify the right pitches, the right fingerings, and the right rhythm. We're gonna do this very slowly, and luckily we don't have to play any other string but the D string while we move our fingers on it, so we don't have to worry about jumping to another open string. So this should be a little easier for you than the past exercises. We're gonna go ahead and finger, and if you wanna pluck and sing, that's fine. If you just wanna finger along, that's fine too. We're gonna start with D. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 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 E, F sharp, rest, E, rest, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest, 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 D, 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 E, F sharp, rest, E, rest, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest, rest, rest. And that's it. Now, if you got that 100% correct, you can move on to the next part. Otherwise, if you're struggling to get the right fingerings, or that was a little too fast, do it a little bit slower and make sure you can identify each pitch correctly in the right fingering, and make sure you don't play on the rests. Use example 1.15 when we were working on one measure at a time. Do that here. Play just measure 1. Make sure that's 100% correct. Then just play measure 2. Make that perfect. Then combine measure 1 and 2. If you got that perfect, go to measure 3 by itself. Make that perfect. Go to measure 4. Make that perfect. If you make that perfect, go to measure 3 and 4, put them together, make that perfect, and then do all 4 measures. But also make sure that you do the repeat sign.